A warm welcome to today's session of A03 Writing for Academic and Professional Success. Today we will be dealing with Unit 5, subunits 5.1 to 5.6, which deals with vocabulary for academic writing. Making mistakes while using language is a common phenomenon, and we are often told that we must try to avoid making mistakes in written language than spoken language. Why is it so? As is quite evident from this image, when it is spoken language, there is always a chance to reject or disagree with something or whatever charge the other person raises. When somebody tells that you have said something, you can always disagree. But when it comes to writing, it creates permanent impression. There is always a proof that you have written something. So as you see in the second image there, when your mistake is shown in written language, there is no way you can reject it. And also, if you write or if you use language inappropriately in written form of communication, it is said to reflect the bad quality of your education. Now that we are going to look at the proper vocabulary to be used in academic writing, let's start with an activity. You might have got your assignment topic for A03 this semester, right? And the topic is this: a review of a novel, short story, poem, or movie. So, shall we correct that assignment together? Okay, if you've not prepared the assignment yet, I would strongly recommend that you first write a review and then sit for the session so that you can improve your work along with learning the importance of vocabulary for academic writing. Also, when you do and learn, it will be more effective and long term than just listening and understanding. I hope you're ready with your written work. Remember, every written work needs revision and editing prior to submission or publication. So, what are we going to do now? We are going to revise written matter. But before we revise whatever you have written, whatever review you have written, first you must know what revision means, or what are the different stages of revision. Revision means improving words and sentences. While revising, you will remove unnecessary words and expressions, which would make the sentences or the paragraphs clear and effective. That is what is done in the process of revision. And why is this done? This is done for several reasons. How exactly do we make sentences and paragraphs clear and effective? There are 7 steps for that. First one is by ensuring that our vocabulary is appropriate to our purpose. This is what you will see in subunits 5.2 and 5.3. And next way is to avoid conversational style in written language. Conversational style is for spoken language, not written language. Also, slang expressions and non-standard diction. These would be dealt with in units, subunits 5.4, 5.5 and 5.6. These are the 2 points that will be dealt with in today's session. Apart from these, Unit 5 also deals with other steps to make sentences and paragraphs clear and effective, which are by diversifying sentences, by varying their length, word order, and types, eliminating redundant or repetitive expressions, avoiding wordy sentences, using parallelism, maintaining tense and removing weak phrases, instead using strong verbs. So it is the first two points that we would be looking today in this session. So in the first subunit 5.1 we saw what revision means and how it is done. In the second subunit 5.2 we will look at vocabulary. What does vocabulary mean? Vocabulary means selection of words. So our competency with regard to words in a language is called as vocabulary. How many words we know in a language? We know many words in a language, right? But we must also know which are the apt words to be used depending on certain contexts. So that determines our vocabulary competency. In written language, sentences have to be precise and clear. Precise means apt, very to the point. The sentences should be to the point. Like we have this example here. If I say, so it was apparent that she wanted him to leave, which is like a roundabout way of saying something. Instead, very clearly and very precisely, in a short manner, I can make it very clear by just saying she wanted him to leave, which is very clear, right? And sentences should not contain unnecessary words. For example, I have this word, he will be back in a period of time, where in a period of time is quite unnecessary. You can just make the sentence more clear by saying he will be back later, if you're not sure of when he will be back, especially. And the third point to be noted is we must avoid overstating or exaggeration in sentences. One example for exaggeration is often we say his brain is the size of a peanut. So brain is, which means peanut is, we know, is very very small. So his brain is small, which means he is not knowledgeable. So such type of language can be used in informal language, informal communication more than formal communication. So here we are discussing about academic writing. So when it comes to academic writing, we should avoid such exaggeration and be as simple and straight as possible. So we can just say he's ignorant, or if you don't want to use a negative as such, we can say he is not knowledgeable. And the fourth point is we must not understate or downplay something important. So just because we say that we should not overstate, we should not emphasize something that need not be emphasized, doesn't mean that we must not emphasize at all. Wherever emphasis is needed, we must emphasize. There we must not understate. Understate or downplay means whatever is important, we are not giving that much importance to that. That should not be the case. For example, here we can be simple and direct by saying he is an athlete, which is precise and clear, but at the same time we are not giving him as much importance that he deserves, right? So that should not be done. We must emphasize what is needed. So for that we might have to say he is an extremely talented athlete. So now that you have your written work before you, you can just check these points. Have you fulfilled these points in your review, whatever you have written? Are you precise and clear? Just check that. Your sentences, are they direct, clear? Just check whether you have included any unnecessary word in it, where you can just shorten the words by using one word for a phrase. If that is possible, use that and reduce the length as far as possible, and then avoid have you exaggerated somewhere? Don't do that. And where you need to give importance, where if you have not given importance, you must do that. So I hope you will make all these corrections in your review work before you move on to the next slide. It is often very easy to say that you have to avoid unnecessary words, you have to avoid exaggeration, you must be precise and clear. So, for that, we must first know what are the words that are appropriate. And for that purpose, we have something called Academic Word List, AWL. AWL or Academic Word List includes main list and sublist. Now, main list consists of high frequency words. High frequency words means words which are used often in academic works in English language. So that is quite beneficial, right? To have a list where you have been given words to use for academic writing. So that list is there, and but this list does not contain technical terms relating to particular disciplines or subjects. One example of such an academic word list is the list compiled by Averil Coxhead from Victoria University of New Zealand, and this person is among one of the earliest compilers of academic word list. In this word list created by Averil Coxhead, there are around 570 head words. So this list is given in table 5.1 in your textbook. You may please refer to that list. And that is the main list. Now that is head list. Then you also have a sub list which contains head words or derivatives of all the words in the main list, the other words that can be derived from the word in the main list. Okay. So you can refer to this list and use the words given in this list while writing academic papers in humanities, social science, and science subjects. But you may not obviously get technical terms, but other than that, you will get all the other words. There are other word lists also, like West General Service List and Oxford 3000. West General Service List will be provided to you as a separate Excel sheet attachment along with the materials provided today, and Oxford 3000 link and a link to the Oxford 3000 list will also provided under the description box of this video.